Right, I have returned. Has Duncan disappeared, has he?
I'm here, I just muted myself.
Alright, no worries, man. So, rip your pick'ems there.
I've never actually done the pick'em.
Yeah, I didn't do it for this one either. Like I said, I'm not financially supporting all the fucking people that have done nothing for me. Fuck right off.
Why would I?
Oh, you were buying secret.
Sad thing is, people actually think that it's a fucking... They actually think we're joking when we say, like, what about skins for casters? It's like, that basically is what you have in Dota. That's another thing that they have. It's like they're just getting a little fucking payday. Because I was asking... Shiva, that was like last year. I did some thing for ESL where I had to go to, like, their studio in Copenhagen or something. And she was there for Dota as well. And so I was asking her about how all that worked. And she was saying, like, you're not, it's not like guaranteed what you get, but if you're like a popular one, you can get fucking loads.
Yeah, Shiva's great, man.
Yeah, a very sound person.
Yeah, really cool.
Sadly, I have to say, obviously it would seem from a few years ago, because there was a lot of the vocal Dota people were like coming right at us, some of them I don't even know. It would seem like they're all hostile. All the ones I've met who weren't those like 5 people, chill as fuck. I have to say, that guy called Gods is beyond fucking unhinged, though. He's the sort of person, right, where he has only ever like come at me, just literally talked shit about me, even lied about things. And then I was at an event. It was one of those Star Series events where they had Dota as well. And then what happened was, in the airport, I'm just sat there and I'm talking to Capitalist because he's actually someone I do know from Dota.
Yeah,
I'm friendly with. I'm talking to him because that's what you do with your friends. You talk to them. And Gods comes over, first of all, does the thing that shows you are insanely socially incompetent, which is you walk over, you don't introduce yourself, you don't say hello, you don't say, I know we've had our differences, but I just want to say, you just come over and you just insert yourself into 2 other people's conversation, just start talking about what they're talking about. So anyway, I think, maybe he's just trying to be friendly, extend an olive branch, as it were. So he then just talks, seems perfectly normal when he's talking about the event, etc., gets onto the plane, and literally, almost, this is like 10 minutes later, immediately tweets out a photo of where on the part of this plane from, like, I don't know, fucking Ukraine Airlines or something. It wasn't a great airline, had like there was like a little bit of a hole next to where he was on the wall. And so obviously he's joking, like, maybe the plane's going to crash. And he said something like, I'm worried this plane's going to crash. Then follows up with a tweet and just says, something like, on the upside, you'll be glad to know Thorin's on the flight.
Fucking hell.
Seems like a reasonable, well-balanced human being, right?
What the fuck is that about?
Just basically joking about me dying after meeting me. Still never introduced himself, still never apologised, still never even attempted that basic human interaction. But did do a good job of wasting my time having to listen to him while I'm trying to talk to someone I actually know. Don't think there's anything wrong with him mentally or anything. Probably seems like full bill of health. Same guy who I also... I don't know him very well, but I did once years ago in the early days of Dota see a video where he basically just bragged about having sex with a fucking fan or something at like some event in like Hong Kong or something ridiculous. And like, the interviewer wasn't even bringing it up. He's like, it was brilliant. I met a girl out there saying, sound, this is brilliant.
Yeah, I never met him.
The only thing I will say about Dota, though, is, like, I do feel bad for the talent in so many ways. Like, one thing, for example, is the reason why you have to hire all the talent for the international is there's no such thing as a bad Dota caster. They don't exist. Everyone has so many fans. It's like that every person's the, if you think it's bad in CS where they want to say, like, well, now there's only 2 duos, but they used to say, like, all 3, they're all the best. It's like, if you think that's bad, imagine them doing that with, like, 50 people. Why isn't my guy hired? He's like the 40th best guy, mate. He's the best.
I mean, I'll say this, like, there was lots of them, like, after that fucking incident, like, where, you made some Dota content and everyone was like, stay in your lane. Like, my lane is fucking esports, you mad cunts.
I know.
Yeah.
No, mate, that's why I actually love, like, I haven't read that Dota subreddit for my content in ages because I know what all the threads turn into. But what I love is there's always those ones where you get them in every game, but obviously Dota has way more because they don't properly moderate the subreddit. You always get those people who are like, again, he's trying to come into Dota 2, farm money. It's like, mate, how am I coming into it? I just have a YouTube channel some people on my YouTube channel like Dota content. I like Dota, so I make a video. I don't post it to Reddit myself. I don't tell people to go to Reddit. I don't go on the Reddit thread. I don't interact with people on the Reddit thread. I don't ask for people from Dota to let me into their community. By the way, even that concept letting me in the community, I've never understood that personally. But okay, I wasn't aware there's actual
classic gatekeeping, which apparently is bad. Bad when me and you were accused of doing it. Good when other people are actually doing it.
Funny thing is, I think I might have done that so rarely. The only times I'll ever tell someone like get the fuck out or whatever is usually if it's like someone who's just a blatant like opportunist who's not really in esports, but they come in for one. Like, okay, I'll give you an example. It was like that ESPN reporter years ago who did one article, won every fucking award that was going that year for like journalist of the year, like that sort of stupid shit. Everyone on Reddit was like, "My God, the journalism!" It's like, mate, I know people.
What about that cunt from Playboy who tried to kickstart a book that he admitted he'd already written?
Yeah,
fuck
he
off.
wanted a few grand as well.
Mate, he wanted he wanted fucking tens of thousands. Fucking suck my fucking hairy hoop, you fucking greedy vampire. Fuck off. You write one article, you have a bit of fucking success with it, realise, fucking hell, this League of Legends is big, innit? This could relaunch my career. By the way, he literally said on the Kickstarter, I have already written these chapters for this book because it was already from fucking interviews that I've already transcribed. Now give me money to make them public. Like, fucking seriously, like, is this? Do you have no fucking grasp of how greedy that looks like and opportunistic? And of course, again, it's League of Legends. Haha, the mainstream are saying good things about us. We love this guy. What was his name again? I can't remember. Whatever. Love him.
Mate, if you ever want to see, because it's almost like a parody. You would think this was like if I did this as satire, people would be like, "That's so unrealistic." So right at the height of when TSM fans hated me, when they still had like I had my beef with Reginald.
You mean last week? Oh no, I see. Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago. It was maybe like a year and a half ago or something. You know, when this happened, I did an article where what I thought was creatively, well, here's the way you fuck with them. Obviously, there's things you could say that are good about TSM. So I did a piece that was called Reginald's Top 10 Moves within TSM.
Yeah, no, I remember. It was great.
Go and look this thread up on League of Legends and on hashtag solo mid or whatever the fuck the TSM subreddit is. No joke. There are tons of people with TSM flares and all the comments are like, finally, a great piece of journalism. See, he is capable of doing good things when he puts his mind. It's like, are you for real? They were like, finally, an unbiased piece.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Like this is the sort of thing, if you're listening, as to why it's so hard to just respect like the general public. You know, I know there's loads of cool people out there who's not saying anything, but as a result, because you don't say anything, we don't see you. You know, but the responses we get are so idiotic. It's like you can't handle it.
Yeah, but it's what I mean. This is why, first of all, right? Like I've told you this before, and you need to listen. You need to get your own fucking Twitch channel, your own fucking stream, with your own fucking emotes and build it all up and get partnered and all that and start live streaming some of these reflections and stuff, which I know could be a little bit potential pitfalls there if questions don't go the way you want, but you're a big guy, you're a smart guy, you'll figure it all out, right? And then what I've found by having a Twitch chat, generally, even when I've got like, you know, now we got like 2,200, 2,300 people watching, like everyone in this Twitch chat now is sound. Like, I had to ban, like, 2 people a day out of, like, 2,000. And even then, that's probably because I was a little bit pissed off because my ISP is making me drop frames on the stream. You know, but everyone here is sound. They're all interacting, sensible, asking questions, donating Twitch Primes. Like, they all want to be part of something, using emotes. Like, they all know, they watch other streams. So, contextually, they know what we're talking about. Like, this is great. This is, like, what it's like to have, like, an actual community that you sort of, you know, control to a certain degree. Like, all the people who are watching the broadcast now, probably is, like, not even 1% of them are arseholes. Meanwhile, you're out there hustling on Reddit and fucking Twitter, and everyone is a cunt. Every man and his dog has got an opinion about why you're the worst thing to happen to the fucking world. Right, at least when with Twitch, it's just self-contained. Generally, the people who want to swing by are the people that actually give a fuck about your success and really, really dig your shit. It's not like Reddit and Twitter where it's just the general public rubbernecking, you know?
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm telling you, dude, it would change your perspective.
I might do it. Like, here's the thing. I would never do it very often. Like, you know, I'm
sure.
But if I did it, like, you know, like I was actually thinking maybe to do that as some sort of a Patreon thing where like they could play some of the games with me or some shit if they were like the people who donate a lot. Because if I just did it like, you know, once a week or 2 times a month or something. That might be doable if I get all the PC set up.
It's, it's something, but I mean, it doesn't even need to be like that, It never needs to be fucking gameplay, but it could be, because it's obviously something you're interested in, but it can be like, now with the, oh, thanks a lot for the $50 donation, the say, you donated $50 yesterday as well, don't donate too much, but I appreciate it. You don't have to do gameplay now with like IRL streams, people are interested in you as a personality, and one of the problems you've got is that you're almost quite impenetrable, because you do like to keep a barrier between your private life and in your interactive life, so people can make assumptions about you. Now with like IRL streams and everything else, you can open up a little bit more. You can talk about like, you can take a phone out and fucking show like I'm off to this I'm going to this museum later today, and fucking follow you around, or you can fucking just load up your stream, talk directly into a webcam. I'm gonna do a live Q&A with people a day, talk about fucking music, talk about this, talk about that. Like, it's actually good. Generally, streaming for me actually restores my faith in humanity after a day of dealing with social media. When I fire up the stream, immediately like 500 people who are righteously into my shit,
The sad thing is, I mean, this as well from Patreon, but that's something I really like overlooked, because I thought the reason I didn't make a Patreon all these years is like, first of all, I had that stupid mentality of like, well, I can just make money anywhere. So it's like, well, no, this is for people who want to actively support you. Like, obviously, that's a great thing. And then secondly, I also thought, believe it or not, I actually thought arseholes would pay and then just use it as an excuse to like insult you. Like, yeah, but I've paid, you can't remove me. Even though if you could, I obviously would. Amazingly, I'm not even joking. I don't think I've had a single person who was an arsehole. Everyone who even the people who pay $1 sound as fuck. That's why they do that thing, where famously, if they ever like, there's lots of like things in the world where they'll charge like the minimum entry fee or whatever, because they just find if you do that, you just or to join like a club or something. It's because if you even pay $1, you're probably not an arsehole, amazingly, because you're committing something to it,
Yeah, you've got some skin in the game, and like I say, generally, people, it's the classic, right? People like to belong to something, and I think by making yourself accessible on something like a stream or doing the things you do with Patreon stretch goals in return for money that people may or may not be inclined to give you anyway. Like I say, community is a word that gets thrown around a lot, and generally I don't agree with it. Like, I don't think there is like a Counter-Strike community or a League of Legends community, but I do think if you're a personality and you have a level of connectivity to your stream, when it's small and manageable, like what I've got, it is a community. Like, I recognize all the names. I know when people have subbed, resubbed. I know when people haven't been able to sub for a while. I get messages all the time like, I've watched your content for 3 years and never been able to afford to donate. Today, I've just got my first pay packet from a job and I want to give you something. That, how fucking heartwarming and wholesome is that? You know what I mean? Like, that's the shit that, like, right, it's actually okay being a, that's why I haven't just, like, left it all behind entirely, and just shut it all down, because it's like, you get emails, through my website, which again, I know you're making your own website soon. You get an email where it's just like, they'll talk about something from 4 years ago that you've completely forgotten. Like, that one time I called into Trash Talk and, I've completely turned my life around, and I just wanted to let you know, you get fan mail. You know what I mean? Like, on Twitter and Reddit, it's just a relentless barrage of bullshit and hate that would make you bitter and make you think everyone out there's a moron. And sometimes I do get salty on the fucking stream, and I do ban people or whatever, but, I'm only human. I'm tetchy, right? Especially at fucking 4 a.m. in the morning. I'll generally walk back a lot of bans I do on a Twitch channel. I tell the mods, like, I'm a cranky old cunt, like, unban people, if they deserve it. Like, Fodder was on the fucking stream earlier.
Is he still alive? What is going on?
Yeah, Fodder was on the fucking stream,
have you ever made an actual video about him? I think you did one about him cheating or something, right? Did you ever make one like who this person is?
No, I never did that. I did a one saying that his apology, even his apology, was loaded with lies. But he admits it all now. He's moved on. He's finally got better. You know what I mean?
Okay. Because the thing I don't think people are aware of is, because here's the thing, he didn't know at the time, but he ended up being right, that if you are just a name people remember, and they remember you enough, then they will think you were significant. Like, whenever anyone brings that guy's name up, I always tell them, this is someone who, no joke, became known for himself writing about himself on forums of gaming sites, claiming to be a known person, and then using fake accounts to also write about himself and populate these threads. and then years later post other things referring to himself. It's like if he'd been doing it as some sort of an art exercise, I'd say bravo, it's quite an interesting social experiment. But this literally was someone where there's just something wrong with this person, and he just desperately, only in esports, wanted to be famous. And as a result, every time he's mentioned now, I mean, fair play, he did it, he won. But he is remembered to someone like me as just a credit. Like, I don't know what.
Sure.
I assume he had a bad life or something, you know.
Yeah, but so obviously, like, some of the shit he used to pull on the stream with me, you know, like he said some very unsavory things about me, and definitely at times created alternate accounts to criticize me on. But equally as well, what I realized was I did go a bit too far with my criticism of him. At one time, like I think I publicly like said, because it was around about the same time there was another Belgian kid who was pretending to be Fodder and pretending to be Sabrosa. There's a video about it on my channel. God. Like this guy,
imagine being that guy.
This guy pretended to be Sabrosa to me, and it was obvious it wasn't him. But I took the interview anyway, and I recorded it and made a video out of it. And this guy was impersonating Sabrosa, going, "Yeah, I'm cheating, and they're kicking me out of CLG because they found my cheats." And then he would go and impersonate Fodder. And what I realized was, like, a lot of what was happening that I thought was Fodder was actually this guy, like, who was just even more mentally disturbed than Fodder was. And I got irritated.
Fodder spawned another Fodder.
Yeah, exactly. And I said some
ironically
stuff.
With the name Fodder.
Yeah, and I said some stuff about Fodder at that time that actually was needlessly harsh, and probably in one instance wasn't even true. And equally as well, like, what am I criticizing Fodder for anyway? Like you say, this is somebody who obviously probably's had a hard, like you say, wanted to make it, couldn't, you know, cheated in a video game because he wanted notoriety. He was creating alt accounts to talk about himself in the third person. Like, he just desperately wanted to make it, you know, like so many people out there. And you know, and now he's better and he's happy and he's tried to put that part of his life behind. I don't want to be like one of these SJWs where it's like blood in the fucking water, and you mustn't ever forgive and you must always go after people. It's not like he did anything super harmful, you know, and he'll always
stupid.
be, yeah, he's stupid, and he'll always be the subject of ridicule to a certain degree. So, like, when he came on the stream yesterday, I didn't really acknowledge it, but he came on today and I said, you know what, mate, I am sorry for the shit I said. Like, I'm sorry to you, because I was in a much better position than you, and I didn't have to twist the knife and be cruel like I was just because of some minor inconvenience that you did towards me, you know? And I think it's important that, like, when you recognize that people are trying to be better and trying to be different, you seize upon that opportunity. Like, you know, forgiveness is a good thing. Like, expunge yourself a little, you know, like, you actually feel better for it, I think. Like, you know, that's how it works for me anyway. Can't hold on to it. You can only really have a handful of serious mortal enemies. Like, when you start factoring in people who are like, he said that bad thing about me once, like, you know, holy shit, man, your life's going to be miserable.
Yeah, but that's the stupid thing. That's why in that God's example I said I thought the person was actually trying to, like, think, oh, well, the real life's different than the internet. And then obviously he just immediately reiterated he is a massive asshole.
Yeah, I mean, you know, listen, there's plenty of people out there that I'll never forgive for some of the shit they've done. It's not like I'm not capable of hate and I've, like, hit, like, a zen plateau in my life. But, like, in general, like, guys like that, I probably... the thing I've never really understood, because... and I think you suffer a little bit from this too, but correct me if I'm wrong. I have never really understood what it is to be a personality, or like an e-celebrity, or like whatever you want to call it. Because from my perspective, I'm just me, you know. I put my trousers on one leg at a time, whatever idiom you want to use to fucking describe it. I don't think of myself as, like, famous. I don't think of myself as important, and therefore I don't think my words or my deeds carry any extra responsibility to you or anyone else. You know, just like the average Joe, right? I am an average Joe. So when people try and lay that shit on my doorstep, like, oh, you know, you've got a following, so you can't say this, you can't do this, I don't follow those rules. But equally, what I've got to remember is, when someone like Fodder says something bad about me to his, like, you know, 4,000, 8,000, whatever it is, Twitter followers, or on a stream to 100 people, it is a little bit different if I fucking clap back to 112,000, to a stream with thousands of people watching, to other people who might not even know what Fodder is, and then come along and take my words as gospel because I'm a credible journalist. You know, I got to remember, it's like, it's like when you get into a fight with somebody that's smaller than you, like a play fight, and you use your full strength, and you go too far and you accidentally hurt them. That's like how how I'm trying to think about it now. That like I mustn't always go to DEFCON 1 like I used to.
Sure.
I need to move away from that.
Well, that's one thing, definitely. That's one of the reasons why, if you notice, I've never in the last few years like seriously intimated a player cheated, because I noticed like even though it's just like I never did it in my work, obviously it can have like a knock-on effect, and so it's not that I should be held responsible for everyone's opinion, but if you can just help out a bit in that sense by not just giving people the sort of ammunition they want to do that sort of stupid shit, it definitely is a better move. Because the one thing that tilts me though is like I had to separate that from like when the idiots will come along and be like, should this person be allowed to represent esports? It's like, who the fuck allowed me to? I spent 10 years with every cunt in the industry going, you will never work in this business. You will not be allowed to. We don't like you. And then I forced my way through anyway. And they act as though I've been like made the monarch of a kingdom and I have to, respect the role and what that means in my social. It's like, this is how you know that people just got to ass backwards.
How many did you kiss the ring? Stand by. All right. And kiss.
No, but I mean, Scoots remembers, man. Scott, you were around at that time. I can't think of many people like myself, Duncan. Like we were universally disliked, right? We didn't get any opportunities. Like I remember DJ Wheat saying like, he didn't think I was like ever going to be sort of good enough to be on like any. I'd never be like an on-camera personality. I remember loads of people like Slasher, and like I think Carmack had a few claps. I mean, like pretty much anybody who was like authoritative within the industry had said like bad things about me. Obviously, me and Paul, Red Eye, we buried the hatchet, but again, as you guys know, Paul was one of those guys who was like, you made it really hard for me at times, and it was like I can't think of a. Like, I must have took so many, like, I must have had a real self-abusive mentality to want to stay in esports. Because, it was just like knockback after knockback after knockback after broken promise after, somebody that you look up to and respect. You finally get to work with them and they tell you your shit and you're like, all right, okay, fine. And to just hang in there and hang in the pocket for fucking 15 years. And then people come along because esports has finally blown up and they go, bloody hell, look at that guy over there, Lord Farquhar over there. How dare he represent esports? Like, you got no fucking skin in the game. You haven't suffered for this.
Mate, the one I will never forget, I've got a screenshot and everything, so I don't give a fuck if the person's blocked me, is that Ririn Gay person. I can't remember if that's...
Oh, Ring in Ear.
One. The one who actually said when Richard won the Journalist of the Year award, like
mental,
a year and a half ago, that this was proof of white privilege because he had been handed every lead. So she's talking about his journalism and like awards in the industry, as though like you just came out of the womb and they just handed you a fucking gig and the award. Like that is so unreal. Like that is just literal racism.
And to be fair, it wasn't just white privilege. She said
suffered consequences.
White asshole privilege is being handed every lead for every story and every award, is what she said. Like, I'd never done a piece of investigative journalism in my life. Polygon writer, by the way.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's like the best example of that sort of like new school person who comes along and then they just look at the industry, don't take any time to research it, and just make mad generalizations that they could never possibly know.
Just ridiculous.
What's that? Ririn Gay just hired by Faceit as new marketing manager for Reddit. Well, good luck to you. Congrats. But yeah, you fit the bill. Your resume is fucking sparkling.
And I actually talked to her about it, and she tried to frame it as if it was all just. She said it was a joke, it was a tongue in cheek, and then she climbed down from that and said she only made that comment publicly because she didn't know. She was new to the industry and didn't actually know about my catalog or body of work. And then they always do the next thing.
No, it's just a light-hearted joke when it's like the people who say, well, when I said kill all white people, I didn't really mean to genocide white people. It's like that's not you don't use that level of fucking leeway for anyone else's tweet.
And then because I had her on Skype for a while, it was like at the Boston Major, she says that about me. Has made numerous like veiled tweets about me, and in some cases direct tweets about me, all negative, of course. And then on Skype, the day before the final, she messaged me saying, you've been killing it and do a great job out there. And I just thought, like, what fucking world you in? I wrote this, like, unbelievable screed. I was, like, tired in a hotel room. I was like, do you honestly think I need your encouragement to go out there and do a good fucking job? Do you even think you're fit to judge the level at which I operate? Fuck right off. It's just like, it's unbelievable. It's like, if I call you a cunt 100 times, and then I message you in private going, I always loved you. Like, come on, like, grow up.
This is something I've noticed, though. It kind of ties in that thing we said about when people like Banks, when they're like moving on from just being basically before, you work behind the scenes and you're a fan. So as a result, when you tweet as though it's your personal account and you've only got your friends on it, So I've noticed there's a lot of people who are starting out esports journalists who do that, where what they do is they treat because no one's following them except them and their friends, they treat it as though Twitter, a public medium, is like a private fucking Discord channel they're all in, typing about, like, oh, have you seen who's just fucking won this award? Oh, look at that existence, what a shitter, he's bottom of the score. They do that, and then they wonder later on when you then link them to their tweets, they're like, why are you bringing that up or whatever? It's like, meanwhile, when you tweet, you're a public figure and they act as though you're like the fucking head of Coca-Cola, like putting an advert on TV saying what you want to represent the company or something.
Yeah, it's honestly, man, like it's depressing. Like the new wave of people, like say, who haven't bled to get fucking fucking esports where it is now, and they're gonna reap all the benefits, and they somehow have a platform to denigrate all the work we've done. It just feels like it feels massively unfair. It feels massively unfair.
One thing that did trigger me about that Patrick Klepek's thing wasn't even the piece. Like, the piece was what I expected anyway. But when he did that podcast where he was trying to justify it with some mate of his, a guy who claims to be in esports and know esports, never heard of him in my life. I know all the journalists, never heard of this guy. And then as the guy's speaking, the Klepek guy's like, well, how does he keep getting jobs in esports? And no joke, he talks about me and you, because as usual, they just lump you in with me for some reason.
Obviously.
And they literally just say it's nepotism, and because we helped out the people in this, which, by the way, they like try to make sound like bad or something, because we helped these people, they sort of like let us stick around or whatever. It's like, are you out your fucking... That is such a ridiculous characterization.
Yeah, I mean...
Is Emily Rand helping me stick around as a journalist? I don't think so somehow. I think, if anything, I'm in a position where my own journalism stands on its own legs. I don't think she's like the fucking queen of the hill who's allowing me to like, should we remove that guy? Let him
I worked for Turner Sports for fucking over 2 years. Think about that. So what? Turner Sports hired me, and I did an Emmy award-nominated TV show because of nepotism. Is that how it worked? Because let me tell you,
these two people are themselves almost nothing. Like, not famous people themselves, So I don't know what position they're speaking from.
It's wild, man. But like, just the idea of that, just the idea it was nepotism. It definitely wasn't. In fact, actually, I'm pretty sure it was acknowledged at various points. It would be loads better if we didn't have Richard doing it. But he's just, we've got to have him. He's just good at what he does. We'd love not to have a controversial host with a Twitter account where he's wrecking fools all day. We'd love that. We'd prefer that. But he's there was no nepotism involved. There were plenty of awkward conversations. There was a time they were trying to get me to have an intern run my Twitter, and I was like, nope, deal breaker.
Oh, Richard, it's exactly the same. Like, I actually had a tournament organizer to my face say, I mean, he was saying it because he was so deluded. He thought I was going to be grateful because he told me this. He goes, some of us didn't want you to be hired to this event again. But the thing is, some of the higher-ups felt like we just had to have all the big names. And I just went like, joke's on you then.
Yeah, I remember that one. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Isn't that mad?
Yeah. I can't imagine going up to someone you've just hired and
I know, why would you do that?
Yeah. I mean, like, you're only here because my boss. Yeah.
I know. Like, are you aware of my persona and my penchant for, shall we say, calling people out and dropping straight fire bombs? Why are you giving me that ammunition?
People are fucking
wild. You know what, mate? You best go ahead and keep hiring me for all these events because you've just handed me a nuke.
Cheers for the sub, Bertha. Appreciate it. But yeah, man, like, I don't know. Like, it's like I said, brother, I've what's that? London 2018 All-Star match is now starting. What is that? All right. Like for me, it's the only thing that upsets me about the way the industry is right now. I'm all for new people coming in. I'm all for people like looking at esports and getting excited about it and being like, wow, this is great. and talking it up. Unfortunately, what happens is the people that are coming in that have just discovered it are sort of massively insecure about, like, you know, how can they establish themselves, and they immediately go and start like fucking tearing people down like me. It's like, you know, they talk about my politics. Like, if 6 months at Breitbart, right, it is supposedly proof that I am right wing, what was the 2.5 years at the Daily Dot building their esports section then? What was that, right? Like, you know,
It's like I said before, Richard, just use the hierarchy of evidence, right? If there was a single article you'd written that was right-wing, they'd link to the article. They'd say, look at this article.
And they've tried this on me.
What they do is they omit it all. And they say, see, he was right-wing because he wrote for Breitbart. They don't say it in the text section about esports and gaming. They make it sound like you were writing fucking, like, political shit.
Well, so here's the thing. I did write a couple of... political from the aspect of the culture war thing, because, you know, like, listen, I'll make no bones about it. I wouldn't say I was disappearing down the right-wing rabbit hole, but I mean, there was a period of time where the absurdity of the right was I was blind to the absurdity of the right because the absurdity of the left outshined it so much, right? So let's put it that way. So I wrote this article called "How Can Social Justice Regain Its Credibility?" Okay, and this is the one they all link to supposedly prove I'm a bigot. And in this article, I say that how can women's rights activists fall down on the side of radical Islam and Sharia law, right? Which I don't think is a racist point. I don't even think it's an Islamophobic point to make, because most Muslims I knew when I lived in Birmingham, and remember, I worked with many Muslims. I worked in a part of local government called Enterprising Communities that was about helping people from extreme Islamic regimes rehouse and have small businesses so they could start new lives with their families.
I can tell where this is going to go. I bet most of them were against Sharia law, right?
No, but no. Well, yeah. Oh, fuck. Of course. Can you imagine if you fled fucking Iran? What your thoughts about Sharia law are? Let me tell you, they don't like it.
Part. Right? People think it's only like nutters who are racist who don't know Muslim culture that are against the concept. This is one that, okay, I'll tell you a key like detail that a lot of people miss about the career of Christopher Hitchens. Someone I've read all his books and studied his life. The main reason why people think he became conservative and a neocon because he supported the Iraq War. The reason he supported the Iraq War and was so against radical Islam is because he had a lot of close friends who were journalists and people, for example, the Kurdish
Salman
people,
Rushdie,
who he knew were Muslims or ex-Muslims, they were the good people who were going to literally be killed if these things continued.
Salman Rushdie had a fatwa put out by him, and the British government was complicit in basically having discussions about whether or not to hand him over to the fucking... to the Ayatollah. It's insane. So he was best friends with Salman Rushdie, who, after he wrote the book The Satanic Verses, which was basically a sort of semi-fictitious interpretation of some like non-existent hadith, if I remember rightly, that came to light. And it was basically a meditation.
What it was like there's like an actual, I think it's like just part of the law, you know. I don't know if it's actually officially in the But the whole point is there's supposedly this point. This is one of the mad things, by the way, because if you know if you're listening to the story of a religion, this is a detail someone throws in that, like, when Muhammad was like, I don't know, like transcribing what the angel Gabriel was telling him or something.
Yeah.
At one point, basically, the message just comes through like, ignore all that last stuff. Actually, that was the devil talking. And he's like,
exactly.
Yep. And so this book is like what that would have been. You know, what would the verses have been?
Exactly. The postulation is, what if the Quran was actually a
fiction novel, as long as you're not in a world where people believe that and would kill you.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Salman Rushdie was very much in that world. So immediately, you have to understand Hitchens' sympathies. He also, spoke out very vocally about what happened at Jylland Post, if I'm pronouncing that correct, the Danish publication that did the cartoons where people were there's rioting in the streets and people were threatened and everything else. So you can immediately understand why Hitchens would fall on that side. But again, here's the thing, like, not all Muslims want Sharia law. I know this is a huge surprise to a lot of right-wingers and Islamophobes and all of that, right? Like, the vast majority of Muslims I knew in Birmingham were just regular people. The only difference was they just prayed at set times, and that was it. There was literally no other difference. I'd go out to work in the morning. You're all right, Iqbal, and that's it. And they're doing their thing, and I'm doing my thing, and there's absolutely no issues there whatsoever. So this is what I mean when people say, "Oh, multiculturalism can't work." I know it can. I don't subscribe to that theory whatsoever. But I specifically said radical Islam and Sharia law. And then the other thing I mentioned.
Well, now that I know you wrote that at Breitbart, you fit all the descriptions.
Well, yeah, but that's the one thing. That's the one political thing I've ever said that people use to try and paint me as a bigot. And again, I don't think that makes me bigoted. But what do I know?
We got pistol around here.
Indeed. Back to the game. See, awkward silence is all around. Maybe it does make me a bigot, and I'm too bigoted to realise.
No, it's just one of those things where there's nothing to say. It just makes you lose fucking faith in humanity again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially given that is me actually advocating for the safety of women,
Yeah.
But secretly sexist. So anyway,
leave that logic box closed, man. That'll just confound.
Yeah, you're right, dude. So, but here we are, 3 old white men.
Yeah, we don't. What do we know? We're not even allowed to discuss this, actually. Probably.
Yeah, I'll have to delete this VOD immediately. So.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have Team Liquid winning this fine game of Counter-Strike. My 2 old beans.
Yeah. I gotta say,
it's interesting they've let it go to this map though, because obviously this is one that NiP's been really good on recently. I mean, it's always been one of Team Liquid's favourites, so I get it, but it should be a good game.
No, and I admire the balls, honestly. There is I don't know if you've noticed when you talk about like vibes, and like kind of an aura around a team, they really do seem to be imbued with quite a real crazy confidence right now. I would
Team
say.
Liquid, yeah.
Yeah, Team Liquid, yeah, absolutely. Like there's a self-belief around them that they haven't had before.
Which, by the way, did not exist. Like I won't relay the whole story, but right before the ESL New York final, I was talking to one of the Team Liquid players, and I was basically having to convince him they could win the game. It's like, fuck my life. What is this? You haven't even played yet. Like I would be going, you're going to win the final. Well, we'll try. And, if it goes well, it goes well. And I'm going, what the fuck is this? What are you talking about? It's madness, isn't it?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I almost prefer that to when players are delusional. We'll beat anyone. You won't.
Oh, of course.
You won't, though.
I've had so many players tell me they were going to win the tournament and just got banged straight out.
No, it's brilliant. Love it when
our scrims were so good. Oh, we're on fire during the boot camp. We got this. We're going to win the whole damn. Although I think Liquid does win.
Thanks for the sub, Cthulhu Kush. Good name.
Yeah, using that Twitch Prime. You guys should all check and see if your mom has Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime. Or not in Twitch Prime. For Ninja. Or me. I don't even stream anymore, but you feel free
when
to subscribe.
Scoots after dark.
OMG Scoots. I don't know when I get unlazy.
Yeah, must be hard when you're a billionaire, like to get the motivation to stream. Like, I don't know how Ninja does it. Or you.
Yeah. I can barely get out of bed these days, Rich, man.
You ran out of them little magic pills that you take at events, have you?
I just live between cruises now, man.
I can't lie, Scoots. You are unnaturally energetic.
Yeah, man. Me and Duncan talk about this shit all the time.
We always wonder, like, I want to get to the venue early to see, is he ever tired? Is there ever any little coffee break that happens? How does he do it?
But generally, I'm jet lagged, so like I'm up, right?
Oh, right. I guess that does make sense. If you do get jet lagged, yeah, you get the opposite, don't you? Because you feel energetic in the morning, then you wrecked at like 12:30 or something.
Exactly.
I've never seen Scoots tired. Like when I think about events, I think about all the people I've seen asleep, slumped in the green room, or grabbing a nap, or having to go back to the hotel, or not able to come out and drink and talk and hang out. Never seen Scott like that once. I've tried to get there first before Scott when he's at an event. Right, I'll get up at 5 a.m. I'll show that Scoots. He's down in the lobby with his fucking plate full of bacon and eggs. Yeah, great to fucking see you, man. Like, fucking hell, how's he doing it? Like, I've got eyes like piss holes in the snow. And I'm like, right, well, don't worry. Come the end of the event, Scoots will be flagging. Nah, man, still there. Like, it's 2 a.m. Event's just finished because of delays. Great to fucking see you all, man. Like, fuck me. Like, I'm going to go get 3 hours sleep right now. And I'll be back in the event in the fucking morning. Like, Jesus Christ, how's he doing it?
Better living through chemistry, man, you know?
Yo, dog, you got to start hooking me up with the fucking eternal life pills, dude. Like, give me some.
Mate, did you see that story the other day that actually suggested drinking the blood of young animals or something might actually extend human life? I'm like, wait a minute.
Was that on InfoWars? Was it?
They're all coming true. They're all coming true. No, the whole thing is they obviously purposely worded it to not like link it to that, but it's like that's the first thing I'm thinking of. You know, like they were right all along. Help! Like ties into every conspiracy you've ever heard, doesn't it?
No, I did read. So I don't know if this is the same thing, but I did read a study that showed that suggested that based on experimentation in animals, I'm not sure what kind, probably be rats, won't it? Like it's always rats. They took the blood of young rats, put it in old rats that were coming towards the end of their life, and it actually extended their natural lifespan. So, which is really interesting, isn't it? Because like if you look back culturally. And you think about what was the name of
shit in the old days,
yeah. What was the name of that bird who used to bathe in the blood of virgins to stay forever young? And
wasn't it supposed to be like Catherine the Great or something?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. It was some famous historical figure who used to bathe in
like
blood.
a queen or something. I
yeah. And then you had obviously, Vlad the Impaler, which is where we get, the sort of idea of Dracula from in modern literature. Apparently, he was known, to drink blood. So there's always
apparently
like
it was
something
called Elizabeth Bathory, who was like a Hungarian
Elizabeth
countess.
Bathory, yes, the Hungarian. I knew she was Hungarian. Yeah.
It's always the Hungarians.
Yeah, man.
I'm telling you.
But it's crazy, right? It's crazy. Dibs GG says, yeah, they did this with a CS team called Virtus Pro. Not bad.
That's not bad actually. Except the difference is they never actually sort of like extended their life.
No, they got the bloodborne badge. They just got the disease.
Mate, Morals just must be the ultimate fall guy of all time. Great news, Mom. I'm joining Virtus Pro. That's weird, because I just heard something that they're just wrapping things up and they need one more player so they can just fulfill
They just need a daft cunt fall guy,
yeah. Oh, what do you mean? It's my chance to make it. Yeah. Anyway, son of man. I'm adopting Grubby from AGO.
Yeah, I'm adopting this nice young lad called Taz.
I can't believe he's winning tournaments again, mate. He's
back.
He's back.
I'm happy for him. Mate, proved his fucking point to VP, whether they want to acknowledge or not, mate. You ever want to talk about, like the Kirishima being the problem meme? Well, fucking Taz proved he weren't the fucking problem.
Sadly, I think what will emerge from that team one day when finally people in interviews tell the truth is, if I had to guess, they were all the problem, but in different ways,
Oh, mate, I would fly on the wall documentary for them, it'd be great.
From the looks of it, Snacks and Bialy were arseholes a bit because they were the skilled players, and they as soon as anything went wrong, they're all washed up. Pasha seems to have had motivation issues. Neo and Taz just dropped off individually, and then maybe we're in denial of it a bit, and wanted that veteran status. But if you combine all five together, makes sense, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Again, like, put it this way. The Virtus Pro team, once they had that good run and Snacks and Bialy blew up, that Virtus Pro roster is the equivalent of the filming of Apocalypse Now. Just a bunch of like people who were all like insane egotists who were all like amazing at each of their respective jobs and roles. And just like out in the fucking jungle, Counter-Strike is the jungle in this analogy. And yeah, just going absolutely batshit insane. And there's no one there to stop them.
Getting banged out at the moment.
Yeah. Twists has probably been the best player at the major.
He's got the best damn hair, that's for sure. He gets that award every time.
Yeah, he needs to work on his mustache, like, I'm not gonna lie. That's always
the trap, isn't it, when you're young, though?
Yeah, you grow your tash too quick.
There's obviously not any women listening to the stream, but if there were, the problem is...
All right, James Banks, calm down.
When you're young, when you first technically can grow a mustache, it's not the proper hair. So if you do it, you look like an idiot because it's so wispy. So you actually have to wait until you've sort of like, it'll be a different age for everyone, but it has to you have to get the full thick hair to have a good one, Because that's why I never had a beard for so many years. Yeah. Because when I tried it when I was young, it looked like shit. So I actually never found this look, which is like my iconic look now, until literally would have been only about 5 years ago or something.
It's what we used to call up north. I'm sure you've heard this phrase, Duncan. The grafter's tash. You ever heard that?
Yeah.
The grafters tash. What it is you get your first job, you're grafting.
Yeah.
And
you're
you're
16 years old.
Yeah, when you're
work on a
16.
building site.
Yeah, and because like you're working on a building site with all the men, you want to like make yourself look a bit more manly. So you grow like a pathetic mustache, which is like 3 hairs across your top lip. Like
I love that though. In
the
a way,
fucking grafter's stash.
Like, you know, when they want to start believing they're a man, they're like wearing a fucking flat cap. All right, just been to work. It's like, you're only fucking 16 years old.
Yeah,
but you act like you're like 48 years old. Come on, in the betting shop or something.
Back with the mines, yeah.
Tell you what, killing my back all this work. What can you do?
I was a fucking nightmare when I was like that. Like, when I was 16 on the building site as well, I used to be like, I was some jaded 50-year-old man. I'd go down the pub and straight smash my pay packet behind the bar.
NiP win this pistol. This is game on, boys. Not looking good so far.
That Elite fucking shot. They give him
Nitro, come on, boy. Just take your time. Don't be silly. Wow, that's not good, is it?
Mate, if NiP win this, like this would be like a legit fucking win at the highest order.
Oh, here we go, Nitro. There we go.
Oh, Rez.
Garrett's not going to win this. Come on, man.
Rez jumped off.
No, the thing is, the more you watch, yeah, the more NiP's actually looking consistently legit.
I like that music pack from Nitro. It's the first time I've heard it, not unsurprisingly. Not bad.
That is also another Dota thing I wish we had in CSGO, like announcer packs. Like, how was there not an Anders announcer pack? I'd fucking love that.
Oh,
I don't want to hear some cunt telling me he's sneaky beaky every time in some shit Scottish accent. The only thing I want the Scottish people
What
to do
is
Nick
sneaky
Brew,
beaky
not
anyway?
My game.
What is sneaky?
I don't know.
Never heard that
It's
in
not
all
a
my
famous
life.
saying, is it? No. I even had Scottish relatives. It's not a famous thing. I've never heard that before.
No, but like, I thought it was sneaky peaky. That makes more sense, right? But apparently it is sneaky beaky.
He was on that yayo.
Yeah. I'm having a sneaky beaky in the toilets. That all right.
Yeah. Sneaky beaky's how Scoots stays awake at all those events.
Yeah.
He just pops out, and I'm always like, Scoots, why are you putting your house key back in your pocket? He goes, oh, just checking it's there. Checking it's there.
Little sneaky beaky.
Just like to look at it, remind me I've got a nice house.
Anyway, just a bump in the road. That's good shit.
Scarface is a good movie. One of the classics.
Yeah, no, that. The problem with Scarface is that is also like the only appropriate reaction to all the shit that goes on in esports. Like,
yeah,
look at me. Y'all need the bad guy. Say goodnight to the, you know, that whole skit. That's how you feel when people attack you in esports.
Is this what it's all for, man? Sucking, fucking. That's fucking brilliant. Love that speech.
I said no, Henny. It's about being really good at the fucking game as well. Sorry, were you referring to Scarface again there? All but a joke. 'Twas harmless banter.
It was just a dream.
Is your stream down too? Yeah, you're down too, right?
It's still only on 260k, so I assume most of them are still fucked.
Yeah, man. I'm just local recording it so I can like edit it into the fucking vlog afterwards. I mean, assuming I didn't lose the fucking video when the stream went down, like, which is also entirely possible.
Here we go. Bang on into B.
Scoots, will you represent me if I sue Twitch?
Oh, he's doing it.
Wait, what?
Because my stream went down at a crucial time during the No Majors Club. This is going to severely impact on my 1,000 sub goal, Scoots. So I need you to represent me in a lawsuit against Twitch. A man who has already beaten Twitch for his own image rights. I can think of no finer champion.
I think you've got a case here.
Thank you.
I think you can fight this all the way to the top.
I think you've got a case here, but unfortunately, Twitch have offered me more money, so I'm going to go represent them instead, said Bryce Blum.
Mate,
But I wish you the best
you
of
know
luck.
that's one thing as well that I have a big deal with.
What?
I get people who are credible people.
Yeah.
I won't make a hyperbole on a daily basis, but way too often coming along, telling me stories, which I'm starting to get to the point where I might investigate some of them, where so many of the talent agencies, lawyers, there is just blatant conflict of interest.
Yeah, all the time.
We're not talking about the odd thing all over the place. It's like these guys can't turn down money. Forget
Mate,
morals.
there's agencies, right? There's agencies run by lawyers. Lawyers who have done work, pro bono work, to get players out of contracts, okay? Think about what they know if they look at a player's contract from a previous organisation. Then they represent that player to get into a new organisation as his agent, and then they represent the team that's signing that player or controls that player. Like, this is, like, insane.
Oh, it's mental, isn't it?
This is insane. And
that's the sort of thing, by the way, where if people like Polygon want to do a story about esports, there you go. That's a great story. You could even do good for the industry. Nah, it's all about how everyone's sexist in Overwatch because not enough women sound.
Yeah.
Yep.
And who wrote the fucking Riot sexism article, who clearly, obviously, from that main source who outed themselves, has no qualms about using questionable sources, then in their write-up about a certain designer getting fired, essentially defended him in some sense.
Yeah, why
and
not?
Implied it was wrong to fire him. No conflict of interest there as well, of course.
Of course.
Of course. Right, we're back, guys. The stream's back. Don't worry, I recorded some of it as a local recording. So me and Thorin are still here with Scooty Wooty. And our 9 viewers, apparently, which I'm sure is not an accurate reflection. I know everyone who was on my stream is loyal. So shout out.
Now's the hard yards for NiP. Now with the hard yards. They're going to do it. Going to do a little force by air, surely. We're in. There we go. This is the big round, boys. This is it right here. This is the game breaker.
Oh.
And I'm not talking about Faceit's new unique build.
Pretty good.
As they said, as they installed it.
Oh, stream's back.
Yep, we are back. We are being listened to. They're spying on us.
Oh, yeah. That other shit Thorin was saying during the break, man. You got to delete all that, man. Like I can't.
That's it, Thorin. You can't come to my wedding anymore. You just hate women. Wow. My wife's a woman.
I mean, I don't know why you bring Salma Hayek into it, but whatever. That's your own twisted fetish. But like, leave her out of it, man. You know?
Now, Tara Patrick.
She was straight fire.
Yeah. Who, Salma Hayek or Tara Patrick?
Back in the 90s. Salma Hayek in the 90s
still
was
straight
fucking
fire. It's
smoking.
Like a something-year-old. She looks amazing. For her age.
Yeah, Salma Hayek.
She's not just still dawning anymore, mind.
Mate, she had a sex tape leak.
Salma Hayek?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm Googling that right now.
Yeah, goddamn, find that.
Pretty sure it's legit, like.
For science.
I seem to remember it. There was two celebrities that had legit sex tapes leak that I remember. And one was Salma Hayek, and for some reason the other one was, what was that bird who played the witch? Sabrina the Teenage Witch or whatever.
I don't remember.
Melissa Joan Hart, I want to say.
That could be
it.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounded right.
Yeah, and she had one leak as well. But hers was filmed like a proper porno. Like, it wasn't like...
Holy shit, this is real.
Yeah, I told you, mate.
I've actually found it.
Right,
it's like super grainy quality because it's from like fucking... Looks like from 1998 or something,
yeah,
you know.
Right, now, just save that one for later, Duncan. Don't get me... I like you, mate. I've always liked you, but I'm not there yet. You know what I mean?
Hang on, just need a minute.
Yeah. I'm just going to mute my mic for a moment, guys.
I was just viewing this
for
the sake of curiosity into celebrity pop culture related trivia.
You see me? I know the thing is as well, you are just sat there watching it, aren't you, right now? Like, I know you are. I
started watching a bit of it, just checking out what was going on.
I know you couldn't.
Curiosity. You have to understand, my wife and kids said this tape didn't exist, and I need to prove to them.
I must watch it over and over again.
They also dared me that it wouldn't arouse a virile 35-year-old man from the Northeast. And you know what? I must prove them wrong.
Science.
Now, let me just pop one of these M&M's Scoots gave me. And Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, I didn't know they made blue M&Ms. Fuck,
Here's the sad thing. Everyone jokes about that. God bless you. Here's the thing. I'm glad that in like 20 years, that science will be fucking 100% perfected. That's going to be wicked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I'll just be using it on one of those Vince flashlights.
Act now. Operators are standing by.
Here's the thing. You should definitely make those. Get just even one as a model, just for a joke.
I know.
It's just it was the lips on it was so outrageous. It was unreal. It was like fucking emu or something. Why were they like that? They're all plastic and shit.
Yeah, that's how it should be. Like that's how it should be.
Like the
Soft
fucking
velvet.
burst open lips, ready for you to penetrate.
And then you get some kid to stand in the meet and greet line and get Anders to fucking sign it. Will you sign this,
Mate, I couldn't believe it. A kid did that to me once. I think it was at Cluj as well. Kid come up to me, will you sign
Yeah, I
this?
remember this.
Yeah, you were there, weren't you? I love you, Anders. I am your biggest fan. Like,
Oh!
definitely not Anders' biggest fan, are you?
Yeah.
Because I'm fucking Richard Lewis. I don't look anything like Anders. I am just a heavy
He
man with a
could've been-
beard.
He could have been Red Eye, I love your work. Right? Like, he could have hit you with that one.
Yeah, true. Vince, if you want to jump back on, if your headache's any better, you're more than welcome, mate. You can jump in with us. All you got to do is
Well,
go to
sure. He's trying to sell more fleshlights.
the... Yeah, got to sell them Vince lights, mate.
Gotta do some marketing.
I told you as well about how, like, we're now calling Vince's subscribers Vincels, right? Instead of incels.
Vincels, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
good. Just making sure you're all up to date with that, in case you see. The rise of the Vincel.
Just people frustrated with their life. Where
Yeah,
it's going,
basically
the career
virgins.
Problems. It's all women who stop them succeeding, of course. Those
No.
bloody sexy women in esports.
Randomly eating boots.
Right, a Vincel is basically a virgin, someone who's never had sex with anybody, but they're waiting for Vince to be their first time. That's what a Vincel is. I will not have sex with anyone unless it is Vince. A big, hairy man.
Yeah, like I told you, boys, that was the round. It's looking rough now. Although Team Liquors is looking a bit pussy on this. What the fuck? They look like they want to save, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Are they gonna?
Like if they don't get an op shot here, they just pull back.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, they're going for it.
Oh, wait.
I don't know what the fuck that was, but okay.
They were all whipped. Yeah, it was weird.
They look like they want to save so badly. I can always smell when someone's waiting to just pull back. Take that out of context, please.
Yeah,
everyone.
I got this completely.
Tramp Sticks.
Smells like a pullout.
A new series. With Duncan Thorin Shields. I used to be the esports historian. Now, I'm the male porn historian.
Hashtag pull out. I'll be right back.
Yeah, in a bit. He's going to get some more of them M&Ms.
What are the remaining games then? Are any of them good?
Yeah, got the MIBR match and fucking FaZe and RV. It's all straight fire.
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice.
You need to be here for the rest of it, buddy.
Oh, we'll do it if I can. I have to go and eat at some point, but yeah.
Just do what I do, mate. Just eat at your desk like a disgusting pig.
Like the journalist you promised you'd never be.
Exactly.
We're just back to that again, are we, mate?
Yeah.
It's like 2012 again, is it?
Yeah, basically.
You know, I have to say, just because, like, you know, you have to think this as well, because of the timing of exactly when our esports careers, after having plateaued for ages, began to spike. You know, that whole conspiracy theory that we actually did all die in like 2012, and this is some sort of like mad afterlife scenario. Like, that does make me wonder about that, because that's exactly when esports and my career just like went completely off the charts. It all became brilliant. You know?
So why in my fantasy would I have just gained fucking £40 and got bolder?
Because it's the idea. Because for me, the notion is it's like a vanilla Sky type scenario. Like you do control the game, but you don't know it. So as a result, if you go the wrong way, it gets all dark and paranoid and shit. Then again, as I'm saying that, why have I created SJWs and all that? Why have I done that to myself?
Yeah, exactly. Mate.
Turns out I did actually have a fucking paranoia complex, Rich. Believe it or not, they weren't all out to get me until I got into a simulation when I made them all get out to get me.
You said 2012, which is when the Aztecs said we would all die.
Yeah, that's the point. The Mayans, yeah. That was my point. Yeah. That was why I bring it up, because that's the thing. Obviously, when that didn't happen, everyone was laughing like, "Oh, it's just nonsense." But that is exactly when the esports shit went completely ham.
It's true. It's true. I bet you could draw a parallel to that.
You know, you look at like League of Legends got big, like just after that year, got really big esports wise. CS:GO started to come on slowly. Yeah, it's mad. Like the spike is so insane. We all thought it was getting big before that, but like that was like the small part of the rise up on the graph, you know.
Terrible movie, by the way. If you ever get a chance to watch,
yeah, it is.
Called
it really
2012. I watched it.
Never saw that.
It's got a couple of good deaths in it.
It's like a disaster movie or something.
Yeah, disaster based on that. The Earth's crust.
Okay.
Melting from the inside in 2012. Like again, the Mayans were right all along. Here's why, and like it's actually one of the only disaster movies where actually like the disaster wins. Like it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Planet.
Because obviously that should happen in every one of them, but it never does, of course.
Like no saving the from
like
the
Dante's Peak, Volcano.
Yeah.
What was that one where Morgan Freeman's the president? Deep Impact.
Yes.
Deep Impact.
That was at the same time as obviously the Armageddon one.
Armageddon.
Those are the two examples they always give of where Hollywood is just the biggest hacks ever, and they're like, they're working on a volcano movie. Oh, yeah, so wait. What are the odds of that?
They're working on an asteroid movie. So are we. Deep Impact was also the first name.
We're working on a handheld shaky cam in the forest witch movie. Oh yeah, so are we.
Yeah, Deep Impact also the name of Duncan's first sex tape.
Exactly.
Back now, operator standing by.
During which now my life's in danger because now all the Vincels know that I was the first to him. So as a result, they all want to kill me.
Mate, that'd be real Deep Impact. That would, wouldn't it?
If you buy the Vin Light, you get a free copy of that DVD, I heard. You act now.
I'm the reason he can't travel to events. He can't hardly even fucking walk anymore.
And 2, didn't happen condoms.
It's unreasonable, isn't it? You're right, Scott. In this fantasy scenario, I kept it safe. I like the way you did add that part in. It wasn't... I was definitely not barebacking him.
Always got to be safe.
I know. Why is he checking on that?
The more you know. See, there's our public service. No matter what you say, we advocate for safe sex in the future.
And I also asked for consent before I did this, of course.
But of course.
Oh, my giddy aunt. Oh.
I think didn't happen condoms actually would be for you, Rich. Damn, could make lots of money.
No, that'd be real good, wouldn't it? Didn't happen.
Put your
Pregnancy didn't happen. Yeah, that'd be fucking sick.
I mean, to be fair, it's more like a slogan for Planned Parenthood. I kept that one just as close to the border as I could.
I'm not sure, man. I think you've been smuggled over the fucking border.
Oh, man.
Outrageous. Cheers for the Twitch Prime Stardust. Clearly a supporter of contraception there. Let me just see if fucking Big Vince is here. Oh, Launders is here as well.
Oh,
nice.
Bring him in.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Launders, get on this fucking...
Well,
yeah, now it's on
Team Liquid Hype's looking real, mate. It's looking fucking good, isn't it?
Now it's not a bunch of white guys, at least. We got some diversity. We won't get yelled at. Woo! Woo!
Brilliant. This is rapidly...
What was that?
This is rapidly getting...
Why did he literally just do like, oh, we got someone coming in as a minority. Woo! Woo! The minority alarm's going off, boys. In his house.
Pansy, we need you, Pansy. Diversify intensifies. That's great.
It's unreal,
guys, this is my stream. Please. Jesus.
So again, Thorin, let's talk about the etymology of some of those
so
words.
wait a minute.
So, about that word.
Me, on this video stream, what you're telling us is that Scoots guy was a right arsehole to us and wouldn't let us use that emoticon. He was part of it, was he? Well, we wouldn't want to take this. Oh, nice stream you had there, Richard. Be a shame if someone banned it.
Yeah. Oh, another white global emote, bitching and moaning about his privilege. Great.
Anyway, I'll send Launders the info on.
Launders quits Discord, quickly runs.
You know,
Like-
Discord. Oh, he's already got it. Launders has it, so I don't know. He said he needed to get. He said for some reason he didn't have
His
a
lawyer?
webcam and a mic. Yeah, and his lawyer.
You don't need a webcam for fuck's sake.
I know. I don't know why he said that, but you do just need a mic, mate. So just
You're not a guest on fucking like Letterman or something, you know. You're just coming on the stream to talk.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
Welcome to the show,
Da-da-da.
Launders.
so you got a book, haven't you?
Yeah.
So Launders, I heard you hate airline food.
I'm out.
Yes.
Just flew in. Oh, boy.
Get me out. Get me out. Get me out. Please, please. Please just keep me
Riding
going.
cars
Vince,
with
so
dragons.
how have you been? Is your head better?
Yeah, a little bit. Got some sleep.
Good.
How have the games been?
Terrible.
Just absolute shit.
we
You
watch
know,
it.
I did
Complex
enjoy
borderline
the
cheating
complexity
against
G2 one.
G2.
Yeah, they were
I mean,
hacks.
I don't know what bug they were using, but there's probably one. I'll get to the bottom of it.
Clearly,
They did
yeah.
something like deactivate existence's keyboard. That's unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, must have been. It's the only explanation, isn't it?
He should have just pulled a Serena Williams, just started screaming, "I'm a father!" He isn't even, but just do it anyway. Just saying, "What are you? Racist against Belgians?" You know, like start going with some mad obscure angle.
Oh god, it's 10 a.m. and I need a drink.
You know it's gonna be.
All right, if you just stayed up.
Yes, this is what I've been doing every day, mate. Like, to be fair,
What time do you get up then?
2 a.m.
2 a.m.
All right, that makes sense. I thought you meant you'd stayed up from all of last
No,
night
I've
as well.
synced my sleep pattern to work, so
Okay. I guess you're in the right place to do it in Vegas, because obviously you can get food 24 hours a day. So
I also have a house with a refrigerator in it. I get food 24/7 from my kitchen.
Mate, one thing people don't realise is there's not, because I've been all around the world using Uber Eats, not that many places have such a great selection on there.
Yeah.
Atlanta actually was a fucking wicked one. That's why I thought everywhere was like that.
No,
Vegas is fucking amazing.
Vegas
on Uber
has
Eats.
got an amazing one, mate. Like,
It's unreal, isn't it?
could get like fucking sushi at fucking 4 a.m.
No, mate. When I
kills
was
you,
at
like.
DreamHack Vegas, I actually got some fucking real Korean barbecue delivered to me.
Yeah, you can get Korean
It was
barbecue.
legit as well.
Yeah, Korean barbecue delivered, yeah.
Because all the rest of them were going like, "Oh, let's go to this buffet and have a pizza and stuff." I was like, "Are you out of your mind? I'm gonna sit by myself watching these bods eating Korean barbecue like a fucking
Yeah,
social
you want man?
person."
Go out and socialise. What are you talking about, you daft cunt?
Anyway, see you fucking squares later. I'm off to watch Rick and Morty. Little insight into the life there.
Liquid.
I just picture you watching fucking Rick and Morty as well, mate. Like, just in bed.
in your
like,
underwear.
yeah,
eating
I'm so
barbecue.
much like Rick.
Oh, of course.
Just eating a sandwich. If only I had a Morty to boss around. Wait, I do. That's Richard. Daft cunt.
Shit. I gotta make a phone call. Be right back.
Yeah, no worries, dude.
Yeah,
He's
call
like,
my lawyer too.
yeah. I may have said some things on this Twitch stream.
Yeah. Can we delete the VODs for them? Be right back.
All right, here we go. Looks like Launders is coming.